Georgia will shut out no one this year.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel.com. More on them in a moment. Daniel and I love FanDuel. Hey, everydayers, first listeners, and those who listen all the way to the end for the loyal third segment, we appreciate you greatly. You are why we do this podcast. We wouldn't be here without you. Today's episode, we are going over locks from college football, the prediction for this Austin Peay game that we have on Saturday, and we're going to give you some things to be notably excited about. Daniel's not here. I got his picks. I'm going to give them to you as well as the whole other slate. But I started with saying Georgia's not going to shut out anybody this year. And here's what I mean by that. I mean the following. Georgia's not going to shut out Austin Peay this weekend. Let's just start there. Last weekend against Marshall, gave up points because Kirby's already said, he came out, he said, I don't care about the shutout. I don't care about the late touchdown. I care about guys in Marshall week 1 of 2025 giving up a touchdown instead of week 13 in 2026, a guy giving up a touchdown. That's what he cares about most of all. He cares, can my guys develop and can I get them in places and positions to do so? So that's what I mean, that Austin Peay will not be shut out this week. Can't happen, won't happen, because Kirby Smart cares about getting guys reps. And when you have any college football team that comes in and has their starters who are fourth-year guys possibly against first-year fresh onto the field, although they are 18 and incredible athletes and really strong and really fast, they don't have the experience to go with it. And lapses happen, mistakes happen. In the live action of a game, it's not as clean cut as who's faster, who's stronger. That's all true. But when you don't have experience, so Kirby's going to play a lot of inexperienced guys. I talked about how he had KJ Bolden last year start, and he was otherworldly, all SEC worthy, in my opinion. And he'll be all SEC this year, the same opinion. But you have guys that are linebackers, defensive linemen playing notable stats, and then the guys behind him. We're talking about the Elijah Griffin or the Isaiah Gibsons or the Justin Williams who don't have, quote, experience on it. We're talking about the Dinkins, right? And that guy is getting a lot of hate this week because he got turned around on a deep ball and didn't get back in the field of play and make a tackle, and it's not great. But Kirby, this is how he runs his program. Development, fire, energy, passion. If you have bad body posture, I'm yanking your butt. And that is why Austin Peay will score some points in this game. Either a couple field goals, a late touchdown, fourth quarter touchdown, something along those lines will happen. So although this game does not have a line in it, Vegas ain't trying to play, hey, come over here and let's bet. They're not trying to do that. Can't get a line on this game really much. You might be able to get a first half spread, depending on where you shop. But whatever it is, don't go for it. Don't go for any line whatsoever. Don't go for over, under. Don't do any of that, because whatever number it is, you're not going to make sense of it. You're not going to make heads or tails of it, because Georgia could be up 41-0 in the beginning of the third or midway through the third. And Georgia's still going to give us some points. We might hold them to only a field goal, and Kirby's go ahead and get some other guys. Montgomery might get some snaps in it, and then things get wonky last half of the game. So just don't do it. Here are some things that I would bet on from this game. We're not talking lines or Vegas, but here's what I would bet on. I would bet on C.J. Allen and Raylan Wilson having over an 80 grade on Pro Football Focus. I'd bet on that. I'd bet on them continuing what we saw last week from them against Marshall. They're going to continue this week, and they're going to be just as potent, is my belief. Austin, they give me no reason to doubt them whatsoever, and they are another gear this year. Secondly, I anticipate Elijah Griffin getting his first college sack. I think Austin Peay wants to get the pass game a little bit going. Marshall had 3 quarterbacks that were mobile, weren't very good passing the ball. Not a lot of wide receivers. Austin Peay actually got some transfer guys who might be able to do something. So I anticipate Austin Peavy actually trying to get a passing game going, trying to replicate it. You don't do a 3-5 step drop against Georgia because that pressure is coming in 2.5 seconds or less. And especially against a team like Marshall or Austin Peavy, just don't see it happening a lot, but I do see opportunities more than Marshall. And if the opportunity for sacks increases where the talent is for Georgia and the tenacity, I like the odds of Elijah Griffin getting his first sack of his career because he's going to get more snaps than the rest of the guy. Elo may be in there a little bit more than he was last week as he ramps up. That might be true. Isaiah Gibson as well, Jordan Hall as well. But by second, third quarter, we're going to see the Jordan Halls and the Elos maybe come down where the Isaiah Gibsons, Elijah Griffins, and the rest of them will continue. So that's why I say just volume of it and Austin P trying to make it a game. We'll continue that. The other thing that I am banking on and betting on happening, I am banking and betting on us not seeing Juan Gaston at all. Gaston, look, when he wrestles, he bites harder than any other man. When he eats more eggs than any other man. His hair on his chest is burlier than any other man. Juan Gaston will not play in this game. I do not anticipate him playing. I don't anticipate seeing him. If we do, it's going to be very limited. We might see him warm up. He might dress. He might warm up. He might even be listed as a starter. All of that might be true. I don't know. But man, maybe it's just me wishing. I just don't play. Just take this one out. How about that? One. We would appreciate it. Kirby, Mike, Bobo. The third thing I'm making on, we're not going to see Micah Morris that much either. These two guys, if you saw last week and you saw the film, you saw the wide, you saw the all 22, the wide 11, these two were mauling guys, moving men everywhere. Absolutely pancaking people in a very, very big way. We talked about a couple of injuries to a couple of them lower extremities. As Kirby said, no, you're not going to get him to give you any details whatsoever. I don't think I'm playing. I don't want to see him play. I don't need to see him play. I want to get healthy, get some more reps, get some more practice in there, and get them on the field elsewhere. The last thing that I am banking on seeing 6 running backs get carries in this game. 6 running backs will get carried. I anticipate some health comes back. I expect we're going to see a lot of Bo in this game, which what I saw the very limited amount last time, I'm telling you, he's got a little bit Nate Frazier, a little bit DeAndre Swift in him. Probably more. When I saw him get between the tackles too, I saw a little Zeus in him. There is a very skilled player in Mr. Walker, and I anticipate seeing more of him as the game continues. We're going to be back after this. I'm going to let you know what other locks you can find for the weekend. But first, these. And these are, in fact, DoorDash. It's almost the weekend. Time to look back and crown this week's MVP. Who delivered? Powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday at DoorDash Streakings. Save more every time you order. These players delivered when it mattered most. Let's break it down. For Georgia, Gunnar Stockton delivered in a big way. Did you see the ability he had to seek contact, go into the end zone, score that touchdown, get the points with his speed and veracity off the edge, as well as getting a nice ball to Zachariah Branch and having him go up. Get on a streak just like Gunnar. And if you delivered for Georgia, you would celebrate. DoorDash delivers your Saturdays with DoorDash streaks. Every Saturday, your orders stack up to season, and you can save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period through 11/18. But that's not all. I'll let you also know about our friends over at Mazda. Mazda's fantastic, and fuel the excitement of driving with Mazda. Mazda craft cars are for those who choose to do more. Simply move. Follow what moves them every day, and that's what makes Mazda stand out. They go beyond safety, style, and performance to deliver a driving experience that feels alive in every single detail. As an athlete focuses on every detail, Mazda does the same with metallic accents and hand-stitched Napa leather. Whether it's quick drive to practice or weekend road trip, Mazda makes even everyday drives feel special. It's the small details that make the big plays, and just like there's more to every player, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. We're back breaking down what we have for the rest of the locks. I'm going to give you some of Daniel's locks. I'm going to give you some of my locks. We're going to go back and forth with this. We're going to figure out what games you should be paying attention to. And this just in this week, if people are telling you, if college football is saying, hey, there's not a lot of excitement this weekend, what they mean to say is there's not a lot of big, notable, Arch Manning hype machines. That's what they mean to say. What they mean to say is we don't know a thing about football, and we like being told from our overlords which ones to watch. And so please, without that, I don't know what to do because we're just lost. That's what they mean. But there's a couple of sneaky good games. Notably, let me just tell you, the team that we're supposed to be bashing, rightfully so, just absolutely rightfully so, is in fact your hapless, hopeless, pathetic Alabama Crimson Tide. Here's why they're hapless and hopeless, and here's what I'm excited to see of them going on. Daniel and I both have a lock in this game. Guys, I don't know how to describe this to you. Alabama is really, really, really bad at football right now. They are low effort. They are no effort. They are sad effort. The talent might be there. I have no idea. I really don't know. And I don't choose to know. I do know this. Louisiana Monroe is not a good school, but 36 points is a lot of points in a sloppy affair. They're getting hate everywhere, but there's blood in the water with this team. It's not a team that I would want to back, and it's not a team that I think is going to have anything good for the rest of the season. Ty Simpson might be okay, but the way this team has responded has not shown me good things. The boosters are thirsty. I've seen this play out with Harsin before. Alabama fans and boosters want Kalen DeBoer gone, just like Auburn wanted Brian Harsin out. So they made up a fictitious affair with a staffer and just kind of floated and say, I don't know, let's see where this gets us. They're doing the same exact thing here with DeBoer, the late night stuff, all that stuff. I've chronicled this earlier in the week with the Smith brothers and John Tweet Sports. That doesn't breed excellence. It breeds question marks. And when you question marks and we're confused, it's not good. 36 points is a lot of points. Alabama's a more talented team. They could snap back and do that. But maybe 30 points. Maybe it's 30-3. Maybe it's 33-3. Maybe it's 34-3 or 10. 36 points is a lot of points. That's what Georgia, to put it in perspective, that was close to what Georgia was favored against Marshall, and Georgia didn't cover. Now, if Georgia is more of a talented team, which they are, more focused, which they are, better coach, which they are, and Marshall, okay, lay the points. Lay the stinking points. 36 points is a lot of points on that game. I'm going to go to another one that Daniel has. So this is a Daniel pick. And look, USF has some things going, like I don't know how to tell you to not be shocked. At University of South Florida, the happily named, the horribly named USF, because they're nowhere near South Florida, but USF is playing some good football. It's because they have some talented guys down in South Florida. They have a coach who knows what they're doing. And this just in, they're playing Florida. Okay, now why this is important and why you should absolutely have eyeballs on this game. One, we play Florida Cocktail Party. I understand that. But two, this is really going to determine and help us understand who both of these teams are. It truly is. Like, I'm not trying to pub up and say South Florida is this juggernaut. But if they put up and they cover this line that I'm about to get, 17.5 is the line right now. South Florida is getting 17.5. Florida is giving 17.5. 17.5 is not good enough because Florida, while they looked okay, it was against a team who is closer to Nantucket being named. closer to a Martha's Vineyard cocktail hour than they are football. Florida looked all right. They did. I'm not trying to say they didn't look good and they don't have talent, but what I'm saying is this has all the makings of USF last year against a couple notable teams who came in and beat them around a little bit. I agree with Daniel on this one. This is another lock it up. South Florida plus 17.5. You don't have to like it, but you could be fearful of them still. You could still say Florida might give us a scare in the cocktail party, which I still think they do. I'm taking South Florida to cover this spread, and I still think that Florida will give us a run for our money at the cocktail party. And yet I'm still going to go to the cocktail party with money and cashing because I'm taking the spread as well as Daniel. Lock that up for another lock. We continue on with them and a couple other games throughout the Saturday. I'm going to give you the rest of Daniel's. Daniel has 2 games. We're going to go to if Farmageddon was last week, what do you call Iowa State should be kind of Farmageddon again. If you've ever been to the flyover states, there is nothing to do but just look at wheat grow, which is painfully dull. It's awful. But Iowa State comes in. Iowa State, notable huge win, week 0, comes back, gets another win. Iowa themselves has a win. But if you look at these two teams, this game is always, you look at Iowa State, and you say to yourself, how do I take the under in this? Well, let me just tell you, this is, first of all, this is not your mother and father's Iowa State. The Cyhawk Trophy is on the line, and this has got a good chance of going on the over for the first time in a long time. I really, really think so. Iowa State has a pretty good offense, has some running attack to it, as well as a defense that's pretty porous. And it's not going to be a battle with it. Iowa State always has pretty good defenses, but the new quarterback for Iowa is actually a dude. I think he can actually ball. I think he can actually play. A new quarterback who is a little bit more mobile than they're used to. Normally, Iowa has a statue behind the line of scrimmage. They don't have it this year. Daniel is taking Iowa plus 3.5. This is a stay away game for me because rivalry games, I tend to favor the underdog. I really do. Any rivalry games like this, come back to me when Red River hits because that's going to be something wild. I want to go Iowa State, but I don't hate the Iowa plus 3.5 because Iowa, it's a different team. They still have the defense. I think they have probably a better defense than Iowa State. And the quarterback is the wild card for me. Can Iowa State keep up the points? I don't think they can because that's not who they are. Old ball coach over there went for it on a gutsy 4th down at Farmageddon and survived. Did well for him, but I think it's going to come down to a little bit of coaching. I like Iowa's chances. And so does Daniel, taking the points at 3.5. Last one. Well, we're going to come back after this. I'm going to give you Daniel's last one as well as some others, but first, these. And these are, in fact, Upside. I thought it was a joke. I thought it wasn't serious, but guess what? You can get cash back every time you fill up your vehicle with Upside. Download the free Upside app in the App Store, Google Play, and start earning cash at the pump today. And you know what? Use my promo code football. Get an extra 25 cents off per gallon on your first fill up. You could make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas that you already need. At first, I thought it was too good to be true, but guys, it's legit. You can cash out anytime, bank account, PayPal, e-gift card. Download the Upside app today using my limited promo code football for a limited time, 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's promo code football. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions, but that's not all. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to also bring your attention to FanDuel. FanDuel's fantastic. Daniel and I love them. You should love them too. NFL season is almost here. FanDuel is getting you ready to kick off with a can't miss offer. Right now, new customers get $5 bet. If you want $5 bet, you win $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. We love using FanDuel because however we like to bet, props, same game parlay, live action is pretty exciting. Get over there, do it as well. We love it. It's quick, easy, best way, a little bit more energy to Sundays. Ready to play? Download the FanDuel app today by using FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. All right, I'm going to give you Daniel's last one, and then I'm going to give you my final ones to do it. y'all, Auburn fan, if you're here, can I just talk to you really quick? Georgia fan, we need to re-rank the worst fan bases. It had been Florida for a long time, and then they started shutting up. They started learning from their mistakes, and they're not so crazy, which is great. I'm here for it. And then we moved to Tennessee because they're literally throwing golf balls, mustard, and other foreign objects onto a field when they can't get their way. And then for a season, it was Texas, because Texas is just annoying. You're not who you think you are, and the bravado is gross. Auburn fan entered the chat. Because Hugh Freeze plays golf, doesn't recruit, still can't recruit. They have some talented players. Transfer portal gave them pretty good wide receiver and pretty good quarterback. Jackson Arnold says, hey, Oklahoma wasn't it for me. I need greener pastures. Hugh Freeze is my guy. Put together a pretty good performance. But you Auburn fans are the worst. You guys use slurs that I did not know existed. And I was joking with somebody earlier today. I know Sherman did damage to Atlanta, but I think he went over to Auburn, Alabama, and went straight to the educational institutions and assaulted them before anything else. Because the amount of time Auburn fan has to be degenerate is wild. It's wild. Y'all got up on your horse. Y'all thinking yourself, you're too much and you're too good. Daniel and I are in unison on this one. Ball State, neither Ball nor a State. 43.5 points. I again ask, Georgia fan, I just ask you to simply use your eyeballs and simply use your brain. Is Georgia 43.5 points better than Marshall? They are. Now, Vegas, like maybe Vegas really does take into consideration Kirby, but they more consider like, okay, what's likely to happen if Kirby did decide to, keep all the guys in, yada, 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 yada. Recruiting, who needs to show out. But I will never bet that number for Georgia, 40, close to 40. I'm never going to bet it because of just how ludicrous and how big that number is. Are you telling me Auburn is that much better than Ball State as Georgia is from Marshall? Ball State might be a better team than Marshall. I don't know. They're probably comparable a little bit. But 43.5 points. Give us both Ball State. We're locking it up. Daniel has Iowa plus 3.5, South Florida plus 13 or 17.5, plus Ball State, taking all underdogs, 43.5. I'm going to wrap up with a couple more selections. I've given you some already, but can I just, for the love of all that is good, take Duke plus 3. Take Duke plus 3. Duke has actually got a pretty talented team and a well-coached team. And I think Illinois coming on down to Duke, this is a game at Duke's home. I think they might even just win on the field. Look, everybody's talking about Illinois and Indiana. They're looking at the numbers and they're looking at them big and they're looking at them crazy, and they shouldn't be. I'm going to take you to another game soon that has this very similar appeal to me. But I think Duke keeps it close within a field goal. Duke might actually win this out on the field. I might sprinkle a little bit on the money line, but plus 3, give me Duke. Big game of the matchup of the weekend is Michigan, Oklahoma. Now, here's the one I'm taking for this. The spread right now is Oklahoma favored 5.5. That's a little too much for my liking. Maybe 4, maybe 3.5. 5.5 is a little bit too much for me. But I'll tell you what is very tempting me. 45.5 points on the under. Ooh, we're looking pretty on that under. Take the under in Michigan and Oklahoma. Oklahoma's got a good defense. Michigan got a good defense. That linebacker's missed in the first half for a targeting penalty had that it should have been targeting penalty. I feel bad for Michigan on that. But this is going to be a defensive game. It's even if an offense does go off, I think it might be Oklahoma's offense that goes off, not Michigan's offense, because he still is a freshman. He is still making his first road start. Underwood's very, very talented. He's like Milroe, but can throw. And if Milroe is a freshman, he's a cat. But it's different when you play in this environment. It's different when you play on the road. It's different in that capacity. So I'm not taking the points because I think it's too many. I think the game's going to be a little closer, but I am taking the under. This is going to be a defensive struggle all the way through. So give me the under. Oklahoma and Michigan at 45.5 points. I'm going to wrap up with a couple more fire on them. I gave you Duke. Y'all, look, Vanderbilt, Pavia, I don't hate you. I truly, it's not that I despise you. It's not that I don't think you're good. I like your story. Coach Lee, I like who you are. Pavia, you got a big old chest of thumb, my friend, and I'm here for it. But Virginia Tech, before it got really kind of weird, South Carolina, I saw a couple of notable plays. Ball bounced really funny against Virginia Tech in a couple ways. A punt return for a touchdown, you can't count on that all the time. If just played within the system, played within the game, I think Virginia Tech is a good team with a strong defense, and those linebackers are flying around. I actually really like Virginia Tech's defense and their run game. Now, those will translate against a team like Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is disciplined, has one guy, really good quarterback, and the rest of it's kind of ho-hum. You give me a talented team that can stop the run and can run the ball. Vegas is kind of fading. Well, not kind of. They are fading the hype of Vanderbilt because heck, they're giving the points 1.5 to Virginia Tech. Let me take them. Virginia Tech's going to win this game by, I think, a touchdown. I do. I really, really think 7 points is going to be the end score of this game. Maybe a late field goal gets them within one score of like a 4-point game, not a 4-point game, where they're going to try to go ahead and drive the length of the field with 2.5 left to go ahead and make something up. I think they fall short on it. That's how I'd predict this game to end. Give me Virginia Tech on this. The last one I'm going to give you of the weekend action. Kentucky Ole Miss, last 6 contests, Ole Miss and Kentucky. It's been 3 points or less. 3 of those 6 been a point. Hotly contested games, mud fight with old Stoops, who is just a lame duck. Kentucky looked awful. Guys, Kentucky is the worst team in the SEC. Here's a bonus pick for you. Mississippi State's going to beat Arizona State. Mississippi State's going to beat Arizona State. That's what I'm sprinkling. I'm sprinkling money line, but I'm locking up 6.5 as that spread. Mississippi State's going to beat, or I think they're going to beat Arizona State, but they're certainly, my lock is they're going to cover that 6.5. My other lock is Ole Miss is going to absolutely pour it on Kentucky. This line right now is 8.5. You can have them, Kentucky. Have the 8.5 points. It doesn't matter to me because you're pathetic, you're bad, you're horrible. Kentucky's the worst team in the SEC. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast, your team every day. We'll see you next week. We'll see you actually Saturday. We go overreaction. See you guys then.